all I've got to ask, just got one little question for the Packers. What in the world was that? The Packers, in a game where they must win, lost to the Lions. And not in a way you might have thought with it being kind of a high-scoring game shootout. The Packers defense actually held the Lions to 15 points. But do you want to know how many points the Packers scored? Just take a guess. Take a guess. They scored 9. 9 points against the worst defense in the league. What in the... I'm just at a loss for words. And the worst part of it was, too, Rodgers threw... the offense. Rodgers threw 3 interceptions. 2 of them which happened in the end zone. And if that didn't happen, this is a very different ball game we could have had here. Because we actually had some chance to move the ball a bit down the field. But it's just... I have no words for this. This is the first time since Rodgers' first year as a starter where the Packers lost 5 straight games. And I have no idea how this team is going to fix it. And there were almost no bright spots on this team except for 2 players. I'm going to mention 2 players that actually had a good game. One, Allen Lazard. He had 4 receptions for 87 yards and a touchdown, made some spectacular grabs, and best receiver we had on the team, which is kind of sad, but we'll get to that. And 2, Jaire Alexander. Second straight game he had to pick, and it was at a crucial time after another Rodgers turnover. No, it was actually before that. Never mind. We had Jaire had to pick, then we gave it right back to the Lions. I forgot that's the sequence of events that happened. But, yeah, speaking of Rodgers, let's just get into his stats. He went 23 for 43, 291 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. All of which came in Lions territory. Killing drives. Not getting points. That's at least 9 points that we had that would have been able to help us at least tie the game. And we also went on a couple 4th down conversions that didn't work either in Lions territory. Oh, man, this is just frustrating. And rushing-wise, after having a big game last week, didn't run the ball well. No, not at all. Aaron Rodgers was a leading rusher for 4 attempts for 40 yards. A.J. Dillon, 11 attempts for 34 yards. Aaron Jones only had 9 attempts for 25 yards, but he did get injured in this game, which is another big thing that happened. A lot of injuries happened to the Packers, with Christian Watson getting concussion and Romeo Doubs having to be carted off the field. John Runyon had issues. Aaron Jones, Eric Stokes, Rashawn Gary. A lot of key guys got hurt. Receiving, Allen Lazard, as I said, best offensive player today. 4 for 87 and a touchdown. Josiah DeGuara had 5 receptions for 41 yards. Not much to say there other than we had a lot of drops today. Again, a lot of drops, which is unfortunate. And especially by Sammy Watkins, who had a lot of drops. And defense, like I said, just Jaire getting that one pick. But the Packers defense actually did well. We held the Lions to 254 total yards, 117 on the ground, 137 in the air. And you would think that would be able to be good enough to win. The Packers held them to 15 points. That should be good enough to win in this league. Like, no offense should be scoring 9 points against the Lions, who coming into this game was the absolute worst defense in the NFL. And I have no idea how this team is done. We cannot. There's only 2 games on our schedule that I see us having a shot to win. One, when we play against the Bears again. But the Bears have been playing really good offense lately. The defense has not been good. But they figured out how to work their offense. And that's something the Packers haven't done. And then the last game of the year when we play against the Lions. Like, if you take a look at the Packers' schedule coming up, my lord, we are not looking pretty. Oh, where are the Packers? And look at our schedule. We're home against Dallas, home against Tennessee, who are 6-2 and 5-2 respectively, at Chicago. That might be a win. At LA, that might also be a win because the Rams are also struggling. Then we're at Miami, home against Minnesota, home against Detroit. And I see 5 losses there. 6-11 is not making the playoffs. We needed to win this game to even have a shot. And this team is just... I don't see it. I really don't. So... That's my thoughts on this game. I'm just at a loss for words on how this team has been playing. I'm embarrassed of this team. I am. Like, this is the first time I felt in my life that I have been embarrassed by the Packers. That includes when Rodgers left in 2008, the really bad year in 2005, and then 2 years in 17 and 18 when we struggled with last year's McCarthy. But this team is infuriating. And if you guys have any suggestions on how this team should fix it, let me know down in the comments. And please consider giving a subscription to a very struggling Packers fan right now. See you guys next week. No.